Welcome to the PPMA Show TV studio. Delighted to be joined by Christine Tacon, who is the Groceries Code Adjudicator. Thanks for joining us, Christine. Tell me what the Groceries Code Adjudicator is, what it does, why it exists.
Well, it started off with a Competition Commission inquiry into the way the major retailers, that's the sort of the Tesco's through to Aldi, Lidl, M&S, treated their suppliers. And they felt that there was excessive risk being passed down the supply chain. And in 2010 introduced a code of practice that was a law, legally binding. And there was a lot of pressure from the industry saying we need an ombudsman, we need somebody that we can talk to in confidence about what's going on, because people are too frightened to challenge the retailers if that code's being broken. And new law went through Parliament and it created my job. I'm part of the Groceries Code Adjudicator Act, and I am there to oversee the code, to launch investigations if I need to, and I have the ability to fine retailers if I find them breaching the code.
It's interesting that it's an adjudicator rather than a regulator role. What's the difference there for you?
I see it as just a title. I am a regulator.
Fair enough. And what's your role here at the PPMA show then?
Well, if I want to challenge the retailers and hold them to account that they are following the code, I need to know what's going on. And people are frightened to tell me. You know, we did a survey where 80% of suppliers said that they had experienced breaches of the code, but only of 38% of them would tell me. And that was largely because people felt there would be a retribution if it got found out, or that I wouldn't do anything, which I was particularly insulted about, because I will do something. But it's just a fear, because although I have a legal duty to protect their anonymity, if you only supply two retailers and you're telling on one of them, there's just this what if that information got back. And I just say to people, the more people that tell me, if I only hear a complaint from one person, I'll do nothing, because I can't protect their anonymity. But if I'm hearing the same issue raised from a toilet roll and an apple supplier and a whiskey supplier, that starts to make me think I need to follow that up.
So how long have you been in your role, and what challenges, what changes have you been able to affect in that time?
So my role's only been law since June 2013. So I've had a year, and I did an annual conference at the end of the year talking about the progress. What I've tried to do is to focus the retailers on the 5 biggest areas where I was getting complaints. And on one of them, which is the retailers going back up to 6 years through emails with third-party no-win, no-fee auditors looking for any evidence that a supplier could possibly owe them money, even if there's just ambiguity in what was written in the email, and then slapping an invoice on the supplier and then threatening to deduct it if they didn't cough up. That was a big issue that was coming up, and I've managed to get 8 of the 10 retailers to voluntarily agree, instead of going back up to 6 years, that they will have everything sorted within 2, and if they haven't caught it within those 2, then they can't pursue it.
But there's a flip side to that coin, is there not, where if money is genuinely owed to particular retailers or suppliers going back over 2 years, that in a way your 2-year rule kind of muddies that, doesn't it?
Well, yes, because legally they had an ability to go back 6 years. My point was that they needed to sort their accounts out quicker, and they owed a duty to the suppliers, because the suppliers had been, some of these are listed companies who are reporting profits and not aware that something had been agreed with one of their account managers. So, there's an unsighted area going on. But frequently, because the auditors are no-win, no-fee, any hint of something being owed was being used, and not delving down into, so what was the response to that request for £500,000? Did the supplier write back and say yes, or did they tell them to take a running jump? And I think that what it's doing is putting the suppliers under a huge amount of effort to go and find the evidence, and of course they then go and look for claims going the other way. So it just becomes a hugely inefficient impact on the chain.
Now, Tesco's have been in the news recently, very much so over the last week or so, and you've had something to say to Tesco's as well. Tell me about that, please.
Well, the investigation is all about when money due from suppliers is being booked. And in my annual report, I did say that I was getting evidence of money being asked for upfront for next year's accounts. I did say that people were having deductions that were sometimes being made. This is not just against Tesco, this is just against anybody. Deductions that were being made from invoices twice, and then, funnily enough, reappearing in the new financial year. So there was in the report that these sorts of things were going on, and what I have asked Tesco to do, because potentially they could come up, they would find evidence that the code had been breached in their investigation. I've asked them to let me know if they come across any potential breaches of the code, and I have also offered, and it's been accepted, that I should brief their auditors for the sorts of things that I've been hearing about in the industry for them to have a look for.
Well, listen, thank you very much for coming into the studio today. Christine Tacon, the Groceries Code Adjudicator. And if you want to find out more about your role and what the Groceries Code Adjudicator is doing, where can we go?
Well, I have a website. It's a government one, www.gov.uk/GCA. And anybody can go on that website, find about everything I've been doing. It's a principle of open information. But most importantly, I've got a newsletter there they can sign up for, and they will get quarterly updates without having to do anything if they sign up for it.
Terrific. Christine, thank you very much for your time here today, and of course for your session at the Seminar Theatre earlier on. We'll speak to you later.